Good Sunday afternoon, Facebook and YouTube. I am Kendrick, the sports guy. Again, good Sunday afternoon. I hope everyone is having a great weekend. We got a lot to talk about, and it's all about the Paris Olympics. It's going to be mostly that. We had a lot of stuff happening on today. Some names, some names from Jamaica, some women track sprinters that's not going to continue. Well, I ain't gonna say that. They pulled themselves out of some races. We're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna talk about the NFL Hall of Fame induction. So we got a lot to talk about. I am live on TikTok as well as on Facebook and YouTube. Again, make sure if you haven't already, come in, subscribe to the channel. That is TFG Sports Media here on YouTube, as well as Kendrick Sports Hustle on YouTube. Make sure you like and follow them both there as well. You can follow me on Facebook, my personal page, Kendrick GuY Henderson, and on Instagram, Kendrick1969, and on TikTok, Kendrick Henderson 51, which I am live on TikTok as we speak. We got quite a few people that popped in over here. I see Jersey Gold, Henry Davis, then popped in. Thanks for popping in, Linda WW. We got a whole lot of eyeballs, and that's a good thing. So again, tap that screen, share the live on TikTok. So again, make sure if you're watching me on YouTube and Facebook, make sure you comment, like this, share to all your social media platforms. And again, comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Don't be in the bushes. Don't be high to talk. I want you to join the conversation where we can kind of rap a little bit. Again, we're going to be talking about the Olympics and we're going to be talking about the NFL Hall of Fame induction. So I was going to give it a few more minutes. If not, we're going to get this show on the road. So again, we're talking about the Paris Olympics over there in France, and we have a lot going on. But first, let's talk about the men's and women's USA basketball squads. The Team USA women had a game this morning. They played Germany, and they got the big win, 87-68. The USA women will go undefeated in their pool group, which they were in Group C. The USA was led by none other than lost WNBA star, two-time WNBA MVP. She's Olympic gold champion. She's won one before, Asia Wilson, but she wasn't. I mean, she was led by them. She had 14 points, 3 rebounds. Brianna Stewart had 13 points, 3 rebounds, and off the bench, Jackie Young led all scores for the USA with 19 points. She was 7 for 13 from the field and 5 for 8 from the three-point line, which the USA women had been having some issues, hadn't been able to hit that long range, hadn't been able to connect on the downtown. But Jackie Young, she did her thing. Again, Germany they started out strong. They started out hitting a bunch of three-pointers, this Germany women's team, but the USA just finally started exerting their will, especially with Asia Wilson. Then they would play her and Brittany Griner during the second half at one point together, which they were too tall. Brittany Griner was 6'8", 6'9". Asia Wilson, I believe, is 6'4", 6'5". And Germany just didn't have the height and the size to deal with that. But again, this team, they started a little shaky. Again, Germany came out shooting hot. They were hitting threes from all over the place. But eventually the women would get it together. They would eventually blow them out. And here we are. They went undefeated, and they're looking to move on. And quarterfinal play, which is the knockout round, is what they call it in the Olympics in Paris. That starts for the women on Wednesday. And oh, by the way, Team USA women, they have won 58 games in a row. You heard that right. 58 games in a row. They have won 8 gold medals in a row. And I don't see any team giving them, I ain't going to say they're not going to have probably some challenges, but I don't see anyone beating Team USA women for the gold. Now, what about the Team USA men? They got the victory. They played on Saturday. They beat Puerto Rico. They would eventually blow, second half. They would pretty much take over. Anthony Edwards took over this game. He had 26 points. He had that windmill highlight dunk that went viral. Anthony Edwards, what can you say about him for the U.S. Men? I think he and LeBron are the two that actually bring the energy for this team, and I think they kind of set the tone with as well as Kevin Durant. I think those three guys actually set the tone for this team, and I think they, as good as they go, I think as good as this Team USA men team will go. Now they will face Brazil. in there on Tuesday in the knockout round. Now, Brazil is averaging 13 offensive rebounds per game. That's a lot. The Team USA men, they definitely gonna have to clean that defensive rebound. They're gonna have to be on top of the game, clearing the boards on the defensive side, as well as Brazil is shooting 45% from behind the arc from downtown. They are making 11 threes per game. That is the best, I think, right now in all the teams that's left. So Team USA with Brazil, they're gonna have their hands full. They definitely gonna have to get up on these shooters. They definitely gonna have to defend, and they definitely gonna have to get Stephen Curry. He's gonna have to get going. He hasn't had a good. He hasn't shot well in these first couple of Olympic Games. So Stephen Curry, I think, is going to be the key. Eventually, he's going to have to make some shots, I think, for this team. Again, the USA men's team, they are the #1 seed in Paris now. They ended up 3-0 in their group play, they undefeated. So again, they will play Brazil on Wednesday, I believe, at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, here are the brackets for the men. We don't know the women's yet. We already know the men. Side A, you got Germany versus Greece. That's a Tuesday game, as well as Canada and France. That's a Tuesday game as well. So those 4 teams are on side A, which is the tougher side when you think about Germany and Canada and France. Those teams are strong. On side B, you got Serbia versus Australia. That's a Tuesday game as well. And then you got the USA versus Brazil, which again, that's the 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time game. USA, if they win, will play the winner of Serbia and Australia. And then the men's finals game, the men's final for the Olympics, it will be Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, Team USA men, Team USA women, they are still rocking and rolling. Again, the women got the big win today over Germany, and I don't see anybody being a threat to them winning the gold medal. So now let's move on to the women's 100-meter final that went down on yesterday, and there was an upset in the house. Julian Alfred from St. Lucia, one of the Caribbean islands, she came out the blocks like she was shot out of a cannon, and she took the gold in a time of 10.72, which is, I believe, maybe the fastest time this year, I believe. And she actually wins the first gold medal for St. Lucia ever. Well, no, I want to let me take that back. She won the first Olympic medal ever. Not just because it's gold, but St. Lucia had never won a medal in the Olympics. But St. Julian Alfred did her thing. She came out the blocks. Everybody, Sha'Carri Richardson, she was the favorite out of Dallas, straight out of Dallas. She would get the silver at 10.87, and then USA's Melissa Jefferson would get the bronze at 10.92. Now, there has been some controversy surrounding these women 100 meter. First of all, we had Shelly Ann Fraser-Price out of Jamaica, as well as Sha'Carri Richardson. According to a lot of stuff that was on social media, that they both had issues getting into the warm-up area because security, some new security rules supposedly went down and did not alert some of the athletes that there was a new rule that you had to ride the team bus and go in a certain gate to get into the warm-up area. Well, Sha'Carri Richardson and Shelly Ann Fraser-Price weren't staying in the Olympic Village. They were staying at their own places, which you can do. You don't have to stay with the team in the Olympic Village. So when they get there, according to reports, the security wouldn't allow them to go in where they're supposed to go in. And they had to walk like 45 minutes to another entrance and then walk back down to the warm-up area. And by the time they got there, so again, that hasn't been confirmed. That has been all over social media. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that is something that went down. Shelly Ann Fraser-Price would withdraw. She would not even run in her 100-meter semifinal meet. Some say it was because of injury. She would post on her social media about how disappointed that she wasn't able to run, but she never made any mention about any injury. Now, will she run in the relay team? Will she be a part of the relay team? That's the biggest question now. I don't know. We have no idea, but that was a controversy that went on. Now, as far as Sha'Carri Richardson, she hasn't made any comments whatsoever about if that even took place. Again, she took the silver. Think about, a lot of people was on social media. Uh, I think uh, finding glee and gloating that she didn't win. And for the life of me, I don't understand why people are gloating. This young lady has overcome some things that she, obviously you remember what happened in Tokyo. She wasn't able to participate because of that, that failed the drug test, marijuana, due to the fact that she had just found out she lost her biological mother. But she's made a complete 360. She was the champ. She won the world championships in the 100 meters last summer, and she was running strong. I did watch the race. She did come out the blocks a little slow. I still think that's something Sha'Carri is going to have to work on her takeoff on her start. But she has nothing to hold her head down about. She won a silver medal. That's again, a little disappointment. You was expecting her to win a gold, but you got to give hats off to Julian Alfred, who, by the way, runs for the University of Texas in Austin. So, give hats off to her. But to Sha'Carri, man, salute to her. So a silver medal is not nothing to hang your head on about that. We was wanting the gold because American woman hasn't won a gold in this race since 1996, and that was Gail Devers, the last American woman to win a gold in the 100 meters. But we got to give a shout out to Julian Alfred, man. I think now she's gonna she's put her name in this mix as one of the top sprinters in the world with that 10.72 and with that gold medal. And speaking of another sprinter, by the way, Jamaica's Shericka Jackson, if you didn't know, she is not running in the 200 meters. That came down this morning. She decided she pulled out. Don't know why. I think there was some injury that she did have at a meet that she said, but she has pulled out of the 200 meters, so she won't run. So that opens up. A lot of people had American Gabby Thomas as the favorite in that event. But Shericka Jackson was the reigning world champion of 200 meters. She was also the reigning Olympic champion. She won the gold in Tokyo in the 200 meters. So now this clears the way for Gabby Thomas. Now, will Shericka Jackson, will Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, will they be part of the relay team? We still don't know if they're going to do that. But again, we all know that Fraser-Price, Shericka Jackson, and we already know Elaine Thompson-Herah is not even there because she injured her Achilles back in June. So all three of the top Jamaican sprinters, women that is, they are absent. Well, they now won't be probably won't be running from here on out in the Paris Olympics. So again, it has been a whirlwind of stuff happening in the Olympics today. And we got to talk about the men's 100 meters finals. It just went down and it just finished about, I want to say 45 minutes ago. And there was a young fellow by the name of Oblique Seville from Jamaica. I was hoping he would place because I think he got the coolest name for a track star, Oblique Seville. It sounds like one of them old school deuce and a quarter cars from the 1970s. I'm telling my age now because I'm a 69 baby, but I grew up in the 70s and the 80s. But he has one of the greatest track names, I think. I think he was born to run track at Oblique Seville. But anyway, that's not the man of the hour. The man of the hour is USA owns Noah Lyles. Himself, Fred Curley, and Kenny Bednarik. They did win their heats. They made it to the finals. And this men's finals went down to, it was like a photo finish. USA's Noah Lyles got the gold. First for American male in the 100 meters in 20 years. That's right, because the Jamaicans have owned this 100 meters for a long time, especially when Usain Bolt was doing this thing. But Noah Lyles wins the gold in a photo finish with a 9.784. Keishane Thompson of Jamaica takes second with a 9.79. He gets the silver. And third is USA's own Fred Curley. He gets the bronze with a 9.81. So again, Noah Lyles for USA gets the gold. Now he's trying to be the first man to get a gold in the 100, the 200, and a relay in a minute. It's been a while. I think Carl Lewis is the last American male to do that. So he's looking to do that. He's already done it in 100 meters, and the pressure was on Noah Lyles. I'll be honest with you, because in his semifinal heat against Oblique Seville, that was a photo finish too. And it went down to the wire. They both ran some fast times in that semifinal as well. Oblique Seville ran a 9.81 and Noah Lyles ran a 9.83. But again, shout out to Noah Lyles. You know, he talks the talk, and he's walking the walk right now. He brings home the gold for the USA again, the first gold for an American male in this 100 meters in 20 years. So congratulations to he, as well as Fred Curley, for bringing home the bronze in a 9.81. So now let's talk about the most celebrated gymnast in American history. We got to talk about it. Got to give some love to Simone Biles. That's right. The young lady from Spring, Texas, straight out of Texas. She now is the most decorated American gymnast ever when it comes to the Olympics. She has won 10 medals altogether in the Olympics, 7 of them gold. She has a chance to win 2 more, because I think the floor exercise and another event is happening on Monday. So Simone Biles isn't done collecting medals, but she's already won 3 here at the Paris Olympics. She already has a total of 7 golds altogether in her Olympic history and 10 medals overall. So what can you say about this young lady, man? She's handled it with grace. She had a former teammate that tried to shoot some slugs at this team, and she clapped back on social media. You had people talking about how her hair looked, and she like, yo, I'm just gonna go out here and do my thing. You know, there was the big controversy back, the Tokyo Olympics, when she pulled out due to some she had some mental issues that her mental health, as well as she was kind of suffering from the twisties. That's something that gymnasts, sometimes suffer with. And so a lot of people was getting on her about not being mentally tough enough and this and that. My thing about that is we always got a lot of people out here behind these keyboards and talking about how athletes need to be mentally tough, this and that. And a lot of them ain't even mentally tough in their everyday life. They can't take a little bit of challenge in their life, let alone compete as a top-notch athlete. Until you competed as a top-notch athlete in your field, I don't think you should be behind a keyboard telling another athlete if they're mentally tough or not. So that's my thoughts on that. So again, definitely got to salute this sister, Simone Biles. Again, she has a shot to get 2 more medals. She got a shot to get 2 more golds to add to the 7 that she already have on Monday and Tuesday, I believe. So we'll see what happens with that. So that has been, man, we had a lot going on at the Olympics, man. Again, we still got a whole lot more to go because we still got the relays, track and field relays. We still got the 200-meter finals, the semifinal heats for the men and women with Gabby Thomas, which she bringing home in the 200 meters. Didn't let you know Sha'Carri Richardson did not qualify for the 200 meters, but she's most likely going to be on that 4x100 meter relay. We still got those. Will Noah Lyles, will he win a gold in the 200 meters? Because if you recall, in Tokyo, he won a bronze. He didn't win a gold. So he has something to shoot for in that. And again, we got all the relays, and we still got Team USA men's basketball, Team USA women's basketball, where they make it to the finals. So we still got a lot more left with these Paris Olympics, and I believe this is the last week. So all of the action will conclude this week. So keep it locked here to TFG Sports Media here on YouTube and Facebook, as well as on Kendrick Sports Hustle, as well as Kendrick Henderson 51 on TikTok. So let's move on to our next segment. We're talking about the NFL Hall of Fame. Yes, if you didn't know, we had a preseason game that kicked off on Thursday night between the Bears and the Texans. The Texans, I believe, will win that game, but that game was called in the third quarter because of bad weather in Canton, Ohio. Well, on Saturday, we had the NFL Hall of Fame inductions. We had Dwight Freeney, edge rusher for the Indianapolis Colts, to go in, linebacker Randy Gradishar, who played for the Denver Broncos back in what? I think that was he was what, late 70s, 80s, around there, somewhere around there. Then we had kick returner, punt returner Devin Hester, wide receiver Andre Johnson for the Texans, defensive lineman Steve McMichael for those Browns, and it was kind of cool what they were able to do with Steve McMichael because he is suffering with ALS. They were able to do some sort of video feed, I believe, to show him, to show him on the big board during the induction. So I thought that was cool. Also, Carolina Panthers defensive end Julius Peppers went in, as well as San Francisco 49ers linebacker Patrick Willis. So those were the enshrinees this past Saturday for the NFL Hall of Fame. So now the NFL Hall of Fame sits at how many we have now in there? I want to say it's roughly 368 members in the NFL Hall of Fame. I could be wrong about that. No, it's 378. 378 players are now inducted into the Hall of Fame. And one of the biggest arguments and one of the biggest debates, I don't want to say arguments, because argument means that you just shouting and raising your voice. One of the biggest debates is like I was talking to a couple of buddies on yesterday, and I got this thought from Melvin. I'm a good brother, Melvin. If you're watching this, shout out to you for putting this in my head, because we were talking about a lot of those that's in, and then why is certain ones not in. So we're gonna talk about that, but I just want to highlight the ones that went in. I think all these guys are definitely deserving. I thought that kick returner, punt returner Devin Hester, I thought he should have been inducted last year. I think when you talk about a guy that really kind of changed the game as a return specialist, he definitely took it to that next level. I know, I'm a primetime guy. Deion definitely changed the game too with that, but I think Devin Hester, he took it to that next level when it came to return specialist. So he got in. The Houston Texans got their first player ever in their franchise history to be inducted to the Hall of Fame, Andre Johnson. Some people were questioning him being in, but if you look at his numbers, when he retired, I think he was in the top 10 with receptions and yards and touchdowns. So I thought he was deserving. Definitely Julius Peppers. This guy, he's probably one of the most athletic, talented pass rushers to ever play in the NFL. I put him in Myles Garrett for the Browns. They kind of are similar to me in their athletic ability. They both are athletically gifted guys. I do know, Julius Peppers also played basketball at North Carolina. And speaking of which, my guy, my GOAT, the airness, MJ, happened to be at the induction ceremony. But it wasn't for Julius Peppers. I didn't know that he and Dwight Freeney are really cool. They really good friends. So Michael Jordan was at the induction ceremony supporting his good buddy Dwight Freeney. But Julius Peppers would shout out Mike for being in the crowd and was saying that he was one of his idols and he appreciated him, setting the bar high for him to achieve what he achieved. So again, like I said, Julius Peppers, he was a two-sport athlete at North Carolina. He was a pretty decent basketball player, but definitely I think he chose the right sport when he decided to play football. And linebacker Patrick Willis for the San Francisco 49ers. What can you say about him? He was one of those linebackers that came in and changed the game too. I think if he would have had some of the injuries later on, I think when you talk about probably top 5 linebackers that ever to put on to don a uniform, Patrick Willis' name probably would have been. A lot of people probably would have put him in the top 5, but unfortunately he had some injuries that kind of derailed his career there toward the end. But he still had a solid career for those San Francisco 49ers. So again, the NFL had their Hall of Fame induction ceremony on Saturday, and congratulations to those guys that got in. There are now 378 players in the NFL. Now, Melvin and I, again, we were talking about a couple of guys that should be in, and this one name that I really am shocked, and it's a travesty that he's not in. I thought he was in the Hall of Fame. I had to look it up. He is not. That is 49ers Roger Craig. I cannot believe that number 33 is not in the Hall of Fame. He is the first running back to gain 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in a season. He's a three-time Super Bowl champ. How in the hell is Roger Craig not in the Hall of Fame? But, and I'm not throwing shade, but Terrell Davis is. Terrell Davis, Denver Broncos. I know he got 2 Super Bowls. He led the league in rushing 1 year, but he only played 6 seasons. But he's in, and Roger Craig isn't. That tells me the voters, man. I just don't get what what are they looking at. I was shocked that Roger Craig for the San Francisco 49ers is not in the Hall of Fame. Also, we know, and a lot of I know there's a lot of people out there that's Cowboys haters. I'm a Packers fan, but again, I'm very objective in my thinking when it comes to sports. There's no way that safety Darren Woodson shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why he's. I guess they're gonna make him wait longer, but there's no way that he's not in and John Lynch is. That's a question mark. I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know how these voters and writers what's their criteria in this. And the last but certainly not least, I had to put him on here because I'm a Packers guy. Sterling Sharp, the older brother of Uncle Shannon Sharp. I looked up his numbers just to see. You know, he had injuries that cut his career short. He had that neck injury. So Sterling only played 7 years. But I believe Sterling was the first wide receiver in NFL history to catch over 100 receptions in a season. He finished his career with 595 receptions, 8,134 yards, and 66 TDs, and he went to 5 Pro Bowls. So you telling me that's not Pro Bowl stats? Now compared to now, obviously, I get it because it's more of a passing game. But when you think about that, Sterling was late 80s to the mid 90s. Come on. Sterling Sharp. Almost played, 7 years. 5 Pro Bowls. Almost 600 receptions. But Terrell Davis is in? Again, I'm not saying Terrell Davis shouldn't be in. But I'm saying somehow they keep moving the goalposts for certain players and the criteria changes. So that's my thoughts on that. Again, it's always subjective. I get it. You know, you got people that's writers that have a lot of pull with this, and they're gonna write for those that they like that's really cool with the media. But I'm just looking at some of these stats, and I'm like, make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. So again, we're getting down to our last 2 minutes of the show. I want to thank everybody for popping in. If you watch this later on YouTube and Facebook, make sure you comment. Make sure you share this to your social media platforms so I can go back and read the comments so we can chat a bit. I want to thank those on TikTok that has popped in over here. Make sure you share this, tap the screen, share the live. Charles Williams, it's a whole lot of people. Lady Hawk has joined. Thank you, Lady Hawk. James Schultz, Edward, Helene, thank you for popping in. Again, we down to our last couple of minutes in the show. I'm just going to do my freestyle moment. And I just want to say, I normally just go off the top of my head. I just want to say that sports is one of those, is a subject matter that a lot of times it brings a lot of us together, even if we think whoever the poster is, especially now that social media is big, some of the stuff they post, sometimes we think that, what the heck, they trolling. It opens up the conversation for debate, and a lot of times it can be fun debate. But what we got to stop, and I'm talking to grown men, is we got to stop with this bashing these young women and young men athletes. I ain't got a problem with you being critical of their performances, but just saying as a grown man going on social media and bashing young athletes, that's lame and that's clown behavior. I'm gonna say it because I'm in a couple of sports groups and I see it on a constant. Grown men sharing memes that's not accurate, no facts to it. They share it and they want to clap back at everybody just because. Sports debate and sports talk supposed to be you having a debate about facts, about there's no right or wrong, but don't make it a bad session don't make it a trolling session where you think it's hee ha ha. I don't know. I guess maybe I look at it differently because I've loved sports all my life, and I like jokes too. But some of these grown men bashing these young athletes, and especially the young women, we got to stop that. Come on, fellas, let's do better. Let's talk sports. Let's talk real sports. Let's stop sharing these inaccurate memes that somebody that made up. Let's stop sharing that, in my opinion. So that was my freestyle moment. I'm gonna get out of here again. I hope everybody had a great Sunday, had a great weekend. We wish, hoping you have a great Monday. Again, you can always catch me here live every Sunday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and Facebook, as well as on TikTok. Make sure if you haven't already subscribed to the channel that is TFG Sports Media on YouTube, as well as Kendrick Sports Hustle. And make sure you follow me on TikTok. That's Kendrick Henderson 51. Like and follow TFG Sports Media, Kendrick Sports Hustle on Facebook. You can follow my personal page on Facebook, Kendrick Roland Henderson, and you can follow me on Instagram at Kendrick1969. So again, you all enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. Hope you have a great start to your week, and we will see you on the other side and on the next report. I am out. Peace.